Schedule 1 may seem like a simple game at first, but there's actually tons of interesting mechanics once you look underneath the hood. So today, I'm bringing you 30 tips and tricks that I've learned over my 1500 hours of playing this game. I'm talking things like getting the most out of every deal, sneaking into the warehouse before 6 p.m., dodging cartel robberies, and so much more. I have tips and tricks for both beginners and veterans, so regardless of how long you've been playing the game, I promise you're gonna learn something new. It's a pretty big list, and I don't want to waste any more of your time, so let's get into it. This first tip is guaranteed to give you a big head start when you first spawn in. Now, spoiler alert, the RV does get blown up, but with a little forethought, you can keep all the starting equipment and make your early game a breeze. So before picking up the cash in the dead drops, make sure to clean out all the equipment in the RV, taking the pots, racks, lights, and packaging station with you. This gives us a massive leg up when we start growing in the motel, and lets us avoid the grow tents entirely. And if you find yourself strapped for cash in the early game, the map is littered with hundreds of dollars and easily accessible deposit boxes for those with the wits to find them. That's right, the ATM and Cuke machines are stuffed with cash, just waiting for a dastardly individual like yourself to smash and grab. All you need is a weapon. And luckily for us, Tyler gave us the hookup. Just head over to the basketball court and grab the bat on the ground near the entrance. Then stroll up to any ATM or Cuke machine and give it a good whack. Money will spill out right for the taking. Then just shove it into your pockets and skedaddle on out of there before the cops catch on to what you're doing. And as cool as Jeff may be, those skateboard prices are definitely a little bit ridiculous. $1,500 for a glorified stick that he slapped a coat of paint on is crazy, but there's a way to take your hard-earned money back so you're not left penniless in the early game. After you buy your skateboard, simply jump the counter and use the bat to give Jeff a well-deserved nap. Then pickpocket him to get your money right back. It's basically an entirely free skateboard. And if you want to double your money early on, you can buy a bunch of them and then pawn them off at the pawn shop for some quick early game cash. The next tip I have is another way to get a lot of money really early on. You see, nearly every cop carries a 1911 in a magazine, and if you manage to beat the crap out of them, you gain access to these late game items far before you should be able to. Make sure to check their pockets before attempting to beat them up, then nab those guns and sell them to Mick in the pawn shop for some quick cash, or you can use them against the cops or the cartel in the future to get even more guns and money. Let's stay on topic with Mick and pawning items, because the pawn shop is one of the best ways to game the market in both the early and the late game. It may not be apparent from the start, but Thursday is the best day of the week to cash out on all the gold, paintings, and other valuables you have clogging up your storage shelves. Simply lug your haul to Mick and hit that sell button to make fat stacks quick. Gold sells at a 0.9 multiplier, and paintings sell at a 1.0 multiplier, so if you stick to those, you're guaranteed to make a profit. Now for all you new drug lords out there, getting stopped by the cops at checkpoints and random inspections isn't the end of the world. While you're being searched, you can click and hold on objects in your inventory to shove them up your ass, so the police cannot find them. We're using our prison pocket like the Lord intended. With a little bit of practice, you can even conceal multiple items in a row as long as you're quick enough to jump from item to item. I do it all the time. Or if you're quick enough to jump below and hit that subscribe button. Alright, this next tip is very important. It is my biggest Schedule 1 pet peeve, so I need you guys to pay attention here. Whether or not you know it, doing crazy mixes with 8, 10, or even 12 ingredients doesn't actually net you more money per day. You see, customers have a fixed amount of cash that they're able to spend each day, and regardless of how much the drugs cost, they won't be able to spend more than their budget. So, for example, if a customer has $1,000 to spend, it doesn't matter whether you sell them 2 drugs for $500 or 10 drugs for $100. They won't be able to spend more than that $1,000 limit. Doing all of these crazy mixes won't change the amount that customers are able to spend. You're just giving yourself an additional headache for no reason. The only way to increase a customer's budget is by raising your level or raising their addiction. That's it. There is no reason to be doing an 8-step mix. In fact, keeping dozens of employees on hand to create these wild concoctions actually loses more money than it gains, requiring extra handlers and chemists, which can cost you thousands in wages every day. Keeping things simple is the solution to minimizing waste and maximizing your profits. And if you're ever lost on which mix to use, remember the BigWilly combo to get rich quick. Alright, I'm done ranting. But while the mixes may not really matter for how much money you make off of a customer each day, the mixes to get these guys hooked in the first place certainly do. From horse stuff to chili peppers, each additional ingredient adds to a meter in the products app called, you guessed it, addictiveness. This property is super important because it increases the chance that a potential customer will accept your product in the first place. It also increases their budget and makes them come back again and again to get their hands on your commodities. So the only real reason to start mixing, and the only reason to mix at all, is to get the addictiveness up to 100%. A product with 100% addictiveness will have your customers foaming at the mouth to get another hit from you, so be sure to have some on hand when you're out and about looking for new clients. And on the topic of finding some new clientele, you may be having some trouble when unlocking customers in new areas. You see, hidden in the details for each customer in the Contacts app, you'll find a small section titled Standards. This tiny word controls the quality of goods each customer will accept, from leaves and stems in Westville all the way up to pure strain gas in Uptown. So make sure to tailor your samples for each customer so they're getting the quality they've come to expect. In addition to the quality, each client will also have preferences for effects they want, and with each effect met, your chance to hook them will only get bigger. It's pretty important for unlocking some of the more stubborn clientele later on in the game, so make sure you remember it. And we all know that old saying, don't get high on your own supply. But it doesn't really apply here. All the effects you can add to your mixes don't just affect your customers, they affect you as well. Taking a little toke before you head out to sell can give you tons of bonuses. You can jump around like Spider-Man with the anti-gravity effect, or you can skulk around in back alleys and sewers with the sneaky effect. Sneaky also increases your pickpocket chances too, so you'll have an easier time boosting drugs, guns, money, and the occasional jug of horse semen from unsuspecting victims. And hey, if you have a skateboard, you can use those sexy wheels to sneak into places you shouldn't be. The skateboard can glitch you through thin walls at both the casino and the warehouse, and here's how to do it. For the warehouse, line your board up on the walkway near the entrance and spam the E key as you hold down left click to mount. This glitches your camera inside of the warehouse and allows you to open the door, which means you can sneak your way into the warehouse before you even get the quest. And the casino works the same way, so you're always able to hit up Philip, Melissa, and Jennifer for a round of Ride the Bus or another spin of those sweet, sweet slot machines. And after you've managed to sneak your way into the casino during the day with the last tip, why not put your money to good use? It turns out you don't have to be a math major or a card counter to figure out that the slots have a positive EV, which means they absolutely print money. You can literally AFK and make millions. And if you're as impatient as I am, those crucial levels before you unlock the brick press and the M1911 can feel like a total drag. But thankfully there's tons of ways to earn XP quickly, letting you get to the good stuff without a lot of effort. Now, the easiest way to get lots of XP fast is by escaping the cops. Wanted Dead or Alive status awards you a whopping 60 XP for every escape. All it takes is pointing a gun at a cop and you can level up super fast. And graffiti can also help in your quest, awarding 50 XP per spray completed. Double duty for XP and reducing cartel influence? Sign me up. Deals also contribute to the XP earned, so whether it's collecting 10 XP from dealers or 20 XP for deals you set up yourself, you're always earning XP from your daily interactions. And if you're having problems with the Benzies as your empire grows, you may need to begin reducing their influence to get their hands off your product. But don't worry, there's plenty of ways to start putting the hurt on the Benzies to keep your dealers and yourself very safe. For instance, you can spray paint your favorite anatomy lesson on some walls around your territory to reduce the influence by 50 for each spray. And if you unlock a new customer, it'll drop the influence by 75. And defeating the cartel in person will drop the influence by 100. Now keep in mind you won't start lowering influence until you've officially met Thomas Benzies in the Taco Tickler's parking lot. Anything before that point won't count, and you'll have to do it all over again. You should also remember that you can't buy spray paint in bulk. Cans are unlocked slowly, at 1 can per level, so be careful with what you spray paint. You won't get that can back. And if you're still worried about your dealers, even though you're well on your way to undermining the cartel, the best way to keep them safe is by arming them. Yeah, seriously, Wei, Molly, and even the mild-mannered Benji can all be armed to the teeth with machetes, revolvers, and pump-action shotguns to protect your investments. The best part is that you don't even need to provide ammunition. They'll straight up pistol whip the fools. Just drag the weapons into their inventory and those money-hungry Benzies will be sent packing. No more dealer robberies. And speaking of dealers, did you know each dealer has 10 additional inventory slots that you can't see? All of your dealers are more than capable of breaking down products for each deal they complete. And they have hidden inventory space to ensure they can turn all those bricks into jars and all those jars into baggies. That said, feel free to load up your dealer's inventories with as much product as it can hold, fully confident that they'll keep selling in the background to all the customers they can. And if your dealers aren't making enough and you're still in search of extra cash, it turns out your customers can provide you with more than their deal was originally supposed to pay. Tons of factors can influence how much extra cash you gain from deals, including exceeding the quality expectations, completing the deal during curfew, providing more product than they asked for, and reaching the deal site before the customer. These can net you plenty of extra money for each customer you complete them with, letting you get wads of cash you definitely don't deserve. And here's a fun one. Your car has unused potential that can save you time and effort when you're transporting items to your properties. If you look around Highland Point, there are tons of loading bays scattered around. There's some at the gas stations, the hardware stores, and even the warehouse. Simply back your vehicle into the loading bay and select the Load into Vehicle option at checkout. This will automatically send every item you buy into the trunk of your car so you can drive off without having to mess with your inventory and the pallets near the door. Trucking is a miserable business, but in Schedule 1, it doesn't have to be. If you're fed up ordering dead drops and running all over town trying to buy seeds and pseudo from your suppliers, well then you're in luck because there's a way you can bring the suppliers to you. Your first goal is to hit max happiness with all of those suppliers. And the easiest way to do this is just by spamming dead drops. Open your phone, order the max amount you can, wait for the text that says it's arrived, and then do it all over again. Once you hit maximum happiness with each supplier, they'll offer you the ability to order deliveries straight to your properties. You can get stacks of weed seeds, coca seeds, and pseudoephedrine hand-delivered to any property in the town with just a few clicks. Just make sure you have enough cash in your online balance to afford those delivery fees. And once your properties can receive all the supplies and materials you need to create your perfect product, you may find yourself devoting too much time as an unpaid shelf stalker. Well, luckily for us, the handlers can actually unload our vans for us. All you have to do is assign a route and back your van onto the loading bay, and they'll get right to it. I actually didn't figure this out until I was about 600 hours into this game, but the investment is well worth it, and it leaves us free to manage our growing empire. Alright, you ever get the feeling one of your employees is a little too comfortable? Maybe they're riding the clock a little too much, or attempting to pinch a few bricks for themselves. Occasionally, the employees can glitch out, giving you more headaches than head rush. But if this ever happens to you, double check their routes, product, and assign stations to make sure everything is unobstructed and pointed in the right directions. Then, save and quit. And if you're still having issues, well, sometimes in Schedule 1, the answer is the same as real life. You just gotta clench those fists and beat the shit out of them. I know it sounds crazy, but I promise it does really help. Now this next tip is probably my most requested one. I've had so many people ask me which customers to assign to their dealers, and the real truth is that it doesn't actually matter. You either assign all of the lowest paying customers and keep the high rollers for yourself, or you assign all the highest paying customers and turn off sales in the products app so you can finally have some peace. But since it gets asked so much, here's the list that I personally use. I'll go slow so you have time to screenshot, but essentially it tries to concentrate all of the customers that you deal to in one area, so you're not constantly bouncing all over the map to get deals done. It's what I prefer, and I figured it's finally time I share it with the world. Here you are. But the main reason I love that list is because I get to completely avoid the two fuck-ass cops standing in front of taco ticklers. They're a pain. I think everyone can agree that the barbershop is the worst deal spot. But there's actually a few tricks you can use to get by them. Whether a customer picks the barbershop for their deal spot or you need to move through town undetected, it's always helpful to have methods of sneaking around the cops. One quick trick to dodging them is to just turn around. I'm not kidding. Once you hear that telltale sound of a cop spotting you, you should immediately turn around and keep your back to them. This will either slow down their detection or stop it entirely, leaving you free to do your business. I don't know what exactly in the code causes this, but it definitely works. And if you have a little bit of cash to spare, a Viper van parked right in front of Taco Ticklers will block those cops' sight entirely. So you're able to complete deals, run errands, and defeat the Benzies right underneath their noses. If you haven't checked the achievement list yet, there's a certain one named Indian Dealer that may lead you to realize where this tip's going. After you've set up a deal and a place to meet, your customer will arrive ready to buy something. These customers are actually carrying the cash they were planning to buy drugs with, so you can pickpocket them, complete the deal, and then steal the drugs out of their pocket to sell to the next customer. Rinse and repeat for everyone on your deal list to become a robber baron in no time. But if you do get caught pickpocketing from your customers and you're being tailed by the town's entire police force, you may need a place to hide until you lose the heat. Luckily for us, Brad has us covered in the parking garage downtown. Something about the smooth ramp to the top floor makes the cops' smooth brains slide right out of their heads, because they get completely bamboozled if you run to the top floor of the parking garage. Then, all you have to do is wait out the warrant and you're free to go. Just make sure you don't run into any more cops if it's already after curfew. Now these next 5 tips aren't anything crazy, but they are little things that I think a lot of people miss, so I wanted to go over them anyways. Tyler, the gracious developer that he is, saw fit to gift us with the primordial fire of making the game run better. Your massive growing and mixing warehouses cause untold lag with all the rendered trash, not to mention the naturally spawned garbage that clutters the map. But thankfully, we can fight back against this unrelenting force of trash with 2 simple steps. First, go to the pause menu and check the box titled Console. Next, press the tilde key in the top left of your keyboard and type clear trash. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. That trash won't be hurting our CPU anymore, and your overclocked GPU running Schedule 1 at max settings will thank you. I don't care that it's a quote-unquote cheat code, Tyler himself said to use it, so it's basically a part of the game at this point. It's why no builds have cleaners in them. Everyone uses clear trash. You should too. This one also took an embarrassing long time for me to figure it out, and if you weren't aware until now, all products can be unpackaged, whether it's in a bag, jar, or a brick. Simply head to a packaging station and click the little blue arrow titled Package to flip it around. The arrow will turn orange and it'll now say Unpackage. So you can just put in your product to the table and break it down into the individual pieces in their baggies or jars. If you're running bricks around town and want to mix them later, this is definitely the easiest way to do it. And if you're looking for a little more space to stash items, sleep the night away, or run some small farms or labs for personal use, all of the businesses from the humble laundromat all the way up to the spacious Taco Ticklers count as usable areas that you can customize and change to your heart's content. Want a stash house in the post office? No problem. Looking for a spot to take a nap? The laundromat is cramped, but you'll be snoozing in style, complete with a free white noise machine. The options really are endless. Now, many players have run into issues regarding storage in the early stages of the game, and while it's all well and good when you're standing in the bungalow next to rack upon rack of storage space, what about when you're trying to move product across town and you can't stop? Think about it. Do you really need to be carrying around 3 donuts, 4 bananas, and 2 paracetamol from your kleptomaniac spree? The discard has you covered any way you slice it. Simply open your inventory and drag items from the slots into the red box in the bottom right, where they'll disappear into the stratosphere like they never existed in the first place. Be warned, however, once the timer ticks down and the item disappears, it is lost forever, and there's no way to get it back. Just double check you're getting rid of a soda can and not a brick of Coke. And for the last tip, I have everyone's favorite, the infinite jump glitch. Simply get underneath a door or bus stop, spam the spacebar, and move out of the way. You'll be sent flying into the air, so you can escape cops, traverse the map quickly, or hit the gnarliest skate tricks of all time. Bonus points if you stick the landing. And as a little bonus tip, if you didn't know, we have a Discord server. So make sure to join all the other silly geese and me at discord.gg/BigWilly. You can share tips and tricks, get all the latest news and updates about Schedule 1, ask questions about optimization and automation, or get notifications every time I go live on Twitch and YouTube. I look forward to seeing you there. I appreciate you guys more than you'll ever realize. Let me know if I missed any cool tips or tricks in the comments below, and as always, stay silly, y'all.